I do not have a lot of friends, and why you shouldn't either. Now, let's be clear about this. There's people that you know in passing, there's acquaintances, and then there's friends. And that title friend to me is very dear and sacred. And this is why I only have a few select people in my life as genuine bona fide friends. I have a ton of colleagues. My network in the professional world is huge. I have a place to stay pretty much anywhere I go in the United States or even in the world. If I had a party over here at my place, I could probably have 50 or 100 people over here like this. However, the people that are my close friends, I can count on one hand, maybe two. And there's many, 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 many reasons for that. So many people nowadays are so caught up in external validation and doing things for the world and concerning themselves with the opinions and things of people who really don't know them and don't give a ish about them. And you don't realize the impact that that has on your life, because the people who are close to us, our genuine friends, we value. And when I say we, I'm saying me and somebody who genuinely values it, not just anybody. We value those relationships. We value those people. We care about them. We give them our energy and time and resources. If those friends that I told you about were to call me at 2 a.m, I would drop everything and pick them up off the side of the road. If they were hurt, whatever, emergency, no questions asked. I wouldn't just do that for anybody. But for my friends, hell yeah, they can count on me. They can count on having full confidence in me that I would be upfront and honest with them. If I knew somebody in their life was doing them dirty, I would tell them. And lickety split, immediately, ASAP, without hesitation. And I wouldn't be afraid that they would be upset at me. They know that I have the character and the integrity that if I'm telling them something like that it would be true and I wouldn't be making it up. You see, but when you have a solid friend or friends like that, it's different. These are people that will ride and die for you. However, this is what you guys will notice. As you walk this path that I've been describing on my YouTube channel, my social media, my podcasts, in my communities, in my inner circles, for all these years, 12 years now, you will get to this point too, because as you ascend and you get deeper on this path, committing to improving your communication skills, bettering your life, taking care of yourself financially, raising your standards, valuing communication and intelligence and so many other things, you naturally will dwindle that friend group down. There's no other way, because this path is the path chosen by and walked by and pursued by very few, a small sliver of people. Now, when it comes to acquaintances, like I told you, I don't want people to watch this video because when you see the title, you would think loner, nobody likes you. No. I get it. And I titled it that way on purpose because I want people who think that or who are curious to watch. That's not what I'm talking about. I have more acquaintances than probably most people. I'm welcomed wherever I go. I can turn on that button of being, charming, charismatic, all that stuff on demand through the skills that I've developed, of course. But I'm talking about those close friends that you would do anything for. Close friends that I've lent tens of thousands of dollars to for their businesses or in times of need. Some of them, one of them wanted to move across the country and needed money. I gave him $6-7 grand immediately. How much you need? Boom, here you go. He didn't have to pay me back. He did, but he didn't have to. Another friend needed money for a startup, 40 grand. Here you go. He paid me back. Did he need to? Nope. It's a friend. Mom or dad gets sick. I need to send them to Bali or someplace like that, right? For a special doctor who's only on that corner of the planet. How much money? How much do you need? Here you go. Done. Right? Now it's different with your parents, right? But you know what I mean. It's that same kind of connection. Ride or die. You can't do that with the whole world. Imagine if you had hundreds of close friends. You wouldn't be able to do it. Now, the reason that you want to have a high standard and run your life this way is not only is it more peaceful and better, and you can nurture better relationships with those people, but how many times have you guys seen people blow up and feel like they want to give back? They start getting popular, they start making money, and the leeches come in. And then what happens if they start falling off or something happens, right? They fall out of stardom. Where do all those people go? They abandon them. I know my friends wouldn't abandon me. Let's say they did. One or two did. Compare one or two people that you care about abandoning you compared to 20, 30, 50, or 100 people that you thought loved you and had your back. You see, we're talking about a slower life here, a life of longevity, peace, tranquility, true, genuine connections. That can't be done with hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people. You can have great, partners, and at different capacities. I have great acquaintances and even close to like that friendship thing. But even in my networks and professional capacity, a few of those are actually my close friends. But you just can't do that with everybody. Because I'm looking at this thing from the perspective of you keeping your peace, being a powerful individual, honoring those relationships, treating them as such, importance, right? Both parties are going to treat it like it's important. And ultimately, leading to you being more fulfilled. There's less clutter, right? I used to always tease my parents, right? Because on the windowsill, they would put like all the cards that they would get for Christmas. And I'm like, that's cool and all. But how many of those people do you actually talk to and are actual friends with? And I think it was one. So I was like, so now you guys, and this is where one of the lessons come in, you guys just do that out of social obligation. You don't even care about those people. You don't talk to them. Why continue to do it under social obligation? You see, now when those friend groups become too big, you start getting caught up in what society pushes on you, which is the social obligation. You need to send them a Christmas card. You need to give them gifts. You need to do this. You need to do that. Then before you know it, you're doing a bunch of stuff, spending a bunch of time, money, and effort on people and things that you don't really care about. And I cut away from that very early in my life. I wasn't sending out that stuff to people. Now, would I do friendly gestures for actual friends and people that I really cared about? Absolutely. I would send them gifts and all that, right? I remember even with two of my ex-girlfriends, right? I never really did the holiday stuff with them, like the Valentine's Day. I didn't give a shit about any of that. But randomly on a Tuesday, here's a gift, right? And I would tell them, I'm like, you see, I don't do this out of obligation. Because on Mother's Day, everyone's like, oh, I love my mom. Then the next day, they fight with them. That's not genuine love. But this is why I don't have a lot of friends. Because those same people, right, that extended group, I know a few of them, the acquaintances, they for sure judge me because I don't do that stuff. But that's okay. That would automatically disqualify them from being a friend of mine. Because we don't even think the same way. All of you would agree. The people closest to you, you share that bond of shared values, beliefs, and philosophies. That's one of the catalysts of having really strong bonds with people. Now, there are outliers where maybe you guys think opposite on some things. That's fine. But that's not usually the norm. But even then, when you have ride or die people and friendships that are super, super close with you, and you guys really, believe the same things, the same beliefs, philosophies, values, and all that, man, it's awesome. You create like a very unique bond. And I can think of maybe 3 people on the planet right now that I have that with, and it's awesome. We're in contact frequently. We really care about each other. We've done so much stuff together. We've helped each other. It's awesome. And I really encourage people to find those unique connections. They have to be out there for you if you don't have them right now. Because many people, sometimes they say they have it, but I know a lot of people don't. Because we assume that the people closest to us, like our family and immediate friends that we grew up with, will have that with. Maybe you do. If you do, that's great. If you don't, this is why it's so important that you guys develop your communication, go after what you want, because the interesting part about this is when you start going after what you want and becoming who you really want to become and getting better, on that path and journey is where you will find these people. That's the beauty in this. Some of the closest people to me in my life, most of them, if not all of them, I found through the process of going after my passions and what I wanted in life, and on that journey to get better and achieve those things, because they were also on their path and we met on that path together and we shared that in common. I think it's incredible when I look at like my coaching program and my community of a couple hundred people right now that are still active. Some of them are really good friends. They work together now. A few of them have been each other's best men at weddings, which is awesome, right? They've done JVs together, joint ventures. They've opened up businesses together. It's incredible. It's cool to see. But it makes sense because in that community, you have a group of like-minded people united under the same front of going after what you want, personal development, building your business, whatever it is. That's awesome. But I know all of them too. They even admit, I don't have a lot of friends. And some of the people in this group are some of my best friends. Cool, man. and they say they're happier and more fulfilled, and these are some of the best friends and relationships that they've had in their life. That's awesome. I encourage you to do the same. There's something special about that, because when you have those friends, life starts making a lot more sense to you and you start enjoying it a lot more, because now you're not biting your tongue. You can genuinely express yourself, right? You can have people that you can share ideas with, have a great bond, talk, right? Talk about the future, talk about what you're doing. They're excited for you, you're excited for them. That's a dynamic that we should be in. But how many of us are sitting there at parties and going to places where we're dealing with people thinking, why am I even here? I don't even like these people. They'll smile in your face and then stab you in the back or talk trash about you. And we still go around them and act like that's normal. That is not normal. That's a societal obligation BS that everybody falls into. Break free from it. I'm telling you. You literally have to live in contrast to what society tells you in a lot of areas to truly unlock this other side of life that is beautiful. And believe me, you're going to get a bunch of shit on the way, like I have. God. People constantly complaining to my real estate companies about me, people constantly bashing me online, right? And now that my channels and all that are starting to grow again and starting again, that's fine. I understand. It comes with the territory. But it's so worth it when I look at my life, how I'm living, my fulfillment, my happiness, and what's going on in my life. It is totally worth it. It is totally worth it. So it comes with the territory again. But I'm telling you guys, this is something that you really have to focus on. Be very careful and selective about who is a close friend of yours. Acquaintances, you can have a million of them, but be extra, extra particular about who you really let into that inner circle, that friendship circle of yours. They say you are the sum of the 5 or 6 people that you spend the most time with, and it's so true. It's so true. And early on in my journey especially, a lot of the people in that inner circle of mine were my coaches and trainers that I was paying money, to learn from them, to be on coaching calls and all that. And they were some of my closer connections, but man, worth its weight in gold. It pushed me forward so much. It helped me grow. It taught me so many things I wasn't even aware of. And to this day, a lot of them now are colleagues, and we've done business deals together and all kinds of stuff. But at one point I was their student, and now they're my friends, which is awesome. But we use this word so haphazardly. We just, oh yeah, they're a friend, this and that. No, there's something special about it. Same thing with the word mentor, right? That's lost nowadays. Someone will follow somebody online. Oh, this is my mentor. You're not their mentee. You're just following them online. We need to use these words in proper context and really understand them for what they are. A mentee dedicates their life to the mentor and is like literally their closest student. You can't follow somebody online. So I appreciate if people call me a mentor, but if you're just following me online, I'm not your mentor. I don't know you personally. I'm not working with you, in a close capacity. So you may learn from me, that's cool. But again, we're not mentor-mentee. Let's call things as they are. Same thing with friend. Don't just throw that word around. Be very selective of who your friends are. Don't worry about what other people tell you about that, right? Have your standards, hold them high. And if right now you want to get from here to here, well, make that your new standard for not only yourself, but the other people who are going to be your friends. And if people are unwilling to make that adjustment with you, you leave them where they're at and you go. That's the right thing to do. And a lot of people struggle in this area because they're like, well, I want to grow and change, but I want to keep my friends. Well, if they don't want to grow and change with you, they're going to go from being friends to acquaintances probably. And you're going to naturally drift apart because you're going this way and they're going this way. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not selfish for doing that. If they get on your case about doing that, you really want to question them. Are they really your friend? Why would they be opposed to you going after what you want and getting better? No true friend would ever be against you getting better. They would support you wholeheartedly, without question, and then ask you how they can help or how they can better support that. So a lot of times these changes that you want to make reveal people's true character. Just like many of you who follow me who were once at a company and then you decide to leave. When you say you're going to go, do they shake your hand and say, well, thank you for everything? Or do they start cursing you and saying, oh, you're not going to make it outside of here? Well, they just demonstrated their true colors. They never really cared about you. They just cared that you brought money in for the company, and they never cared for you as a person, and they were never your friend. Ever. They didn't care about you. So you have to understand these things and see them for what they are. But I really encourage you to start becoming a lot more selective about who you designate as your friend and who you let in close. Because like I told you, I know tons and tons of people, tons of acquaintances, connections, networking connections, business owners and all that. I move and shake like I know the world. But those close friends, I'm telling you, one, maybe two hands. And I'm proud to say that. Let people assume what they want to assume when you say you don't have a lot of friends. Because I know when I say that, the assumption for most people would be, oh, he's lonely, nobody likes him. That's fine. They can keep thinking that. I don't care. I really don't. And many of you would be afraid to do that or say that because of that very thing. And that's exactly what's holding you back. Be selective, raise your standards, be very particular who you let into your friendship circle, and your life will change, no doubt. All right? Take advantage of some of the free resources I have in the description. If you haven't looked at them lately, hit me up if you need anything. Take a moment to hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment for the algorithm, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.